So, I want to talk a little bit today about driving in Costa Rica. It's a little bit of a problem. I've been meaning to talk about this for a while because it's got all kinds of squishy things that are related to it. But first, I have to talk about something really special. I have a big fan, Stan, out there that has put up an account in my name and used my picture, used Pathios's copyrighted stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, thank you for threatening to shave my head. Thank you for saying that the Bed Intruder song is my favorite video. I love the Bed Intruder song. And if you come here and try to shave my head in Costa Rica, guess what? I would be happy with it. I've been so frustrated with this pile of hair, I thought about shaving my own head. So, whoever this imitator is, and they're linked to the new Independent Fundamentalist Baptist Church and Stephen Anderson, you do you, but don't be surprised if someone does not copyright strike your video channel that of me. You must really have a lot of silly time on your hands. Okay, back to Costa Rica. Hey, Claire Bear. I don't want to talk anymore about the whole KJ thing because it's just getting ridiculous. So we're going to pretend in this our perfect world, Miss KJ does not. Yeah. I have my sense of humor. That's the only thing that's carried me through my life. I've lived through a number of crazy things in my life and a lot of ridiculous things. I'm extremely happy today because I just got more furniture. I have a friend that's leaving Costa Rica with some beautiful hand carved Guatemalan furniture. I got some of that. I'm like very excited. I'm redoing my entire sewing room and I'm going to show you that shortly too. One of the things about living here is you don't have the same shopping options if you're living in the Tamarindo area. You have to go to San Jose if you want decent towels and decent sheets. And there's a Crate and Barrel there. They also have really good furniture. It's kind of pricey, but compared to some of the quality you can get here, you're better off either going to Crate and Barrel or what I do is I go to the local guy who makes furniture. I've had a lot of things custom made here and it's worked out really well. My old waterbed, I was missing some of the pieces when it was shipped because shipping your things from the States here is another boondoggle I have to talk about. Um, it got here with about half the boards missing for the frame. So I had to have the frame rebuilt. And instead of having a cheap, junky one made, the guy, Bruce Scott, who owns and runs a local um, custom furniture shop, came in and completely rebuilt my waterbed for me. It is out of hardwood. It's never been like this before. It's like upgraded about 10 trillion percent. So driving, the reason I have to talk about driving is every day we keep driving through, and Jim, my husband, keeps saying, "You have got to talk about driving." Okay, your driver's license is valid here from the U.S. It's as valid as long as your visa stamp in your passport is. So if you're from the US and you've come in here as a tourist, you have your 90 days that your license is valid. You can drive anywhere throughout Costa Rica. Now, there are some weird rules about the border and bringing your vehicles over. I've seen Americans get gigged by those things, particularly say you're going to Nicaragua. They have a request that you go apply at the Nicaraguan embassy in San Jose to get a permit to bring your car in and out of Nicaragua. What happens when you don't? Well, I saw a guy they shook down at the border for $250 cash to avoid that. So we don't take our car across the border. When we do our border runs, we either take the chicken bus, we take um, Tika bus or Nika bus, or we walk. A lot of times we just walk across that border and then catch the bus on the other side if we're going somewhere because it's just too much trouble to do that. If you have to go way out of your way, we're 5 hours from the embassy here. So it wouldn't make sense for us to do that. The thing with driving and your license is while your license is valid, if you're a resident, your license is valid for as long as it is in the States. You just keep operating on your US license, or you can get a Costa Rican one if you like. Um, I'm thinking about international. I used to have an international driver's license years ago, and I'm going to check in soon and see what I have to do to get an international one that will be valid here. The next time I go back to the States, usually it just means going back to your DMV, filling out some paperwork, and paying the fee, and you have your international license. I'm thinking seriously about doing that. I think it would decomplicate a number of things here. Um, but here's the thing I really wanted to talk about driving in Costa Rica. Okay, I have driven in Rome, I have driven in Mexico City, I've driven the Ringstrasse in Munich a number of times because when we lived in Germany, I've driven on the Autobahn. I've driven where there aren't roads, where there's just like dirt paths cut through the grass. And I have to say, even driving in New Jersey and Baltimore, I have never seen so much insane driving as I've seen in Costa Rica. When you come to Costa Rica, it pays to be a defensive driver. It does, and it pays to be alert at all times. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about, or last week, I talked about an accident I witnessed where a motorcyclist slammed into the back of a Parata taxi. Those things happen frequently here. People don't seem to like to use their turn signals. There's massive amounts of motorcycles. Motorcyclists pay no attention here. I have been with my left turn signal on, getting ready to turn into the shopping center. I've got all my warnings on, and some idiot will come past you on the left as you're turning. Yesterday and today, we had, by this about much, several almost accidents with motorcycles zooming around us, illegally turning in front of you, all sorts of things. And it's not just those. You have Parada taxis here, which are a lot cheaper and they're fun to ride in, except for a couple of things. Number one, no one ever takes care of their cars here. So you're seeing a huge assortment of old rolling scrap iron. It's not the safest thing in the world. Parada drivers seem to be the most aggressive I've ever seen. So whenever I'm behind a Parata, I make sure I make sure that I stay alert because I don't want to run into the back of them. That's the other thing. If you're here and you don't have your automobile license through your business, you can get sued for lots of money. So it's really important when you're here to make sure that the car is not owned by you personally. Cars owned by your corporation. And I know a lot of gringos that get here and they buy brand spanking new cars. I would never recommend that here. The roads are completely torn up in places. There's paved roads in most big cities, but you get out in the countryside like Tamarindo, and there are tons of roads that are just not paved. You need a four-wheel drive. It needs to be older so that if it does get dings and damages, you don't really care. Yet driving in France is crazy too. I will agree with you there. Driving in Rome is also pretty crazy. Joining the beautiful sceneries. Yeah, that's the other thing I haven't even gotten to yet. The traffic jams here are massively bizarre. When I go to Grande, I frequently have to pause for the cattle because there's a couple of farmers that have their cattle herds right along the road, and they're always moving the cattle back and forth. And so if you ever see me post a picture on my Facebook that says Costa Rican traffic jam, it's something like that. It always is. And there's something like one day I posted a picture of three large construction workers on a little 150cc motorbike, and they all had tall ladders and they were holding them. I've seen people driving these little motorcycles with goats, sacks of bananas, 50 pounds of animal feed, all kinds of crazy things. And you even see whole families. You see mama, daddy, toddler, school age child, and baby on these things. Um, and nobody seems like they're paying attention to the traffic laws. So when you come here, you got to drive offensively. You got to be ready at any moment. You can't just be, tootling around because you're going to run into something. Fortunately, I have knock on Guanaquasque Wood, I have not had an accident here. Um, well, I take that back. I have had sort of one accident, but that was my own stupidity. I took a back road during rainy season, and it's a back road I take frequently during dry season. It goes behind the Tamarindo Airport. And if you're going to and from Tamarindo, and there's one road into Tamarindo, one road out, there are two or three little back roads. And I usually, if it's crowded, we'll take a back road. That day in July, I took a back road. I got all the way to the very end of where the bad road was, and I got stuck with my four-wheel drive. I couldn't get out. They had to bring a tow truck and haul me out of the mud. So that's the closest I've come yet to actually having a real accident. I've had probably 5 trillion almost accidents, and I have more gray hair as a result of all of that. So, like I said, no new cars. Don't bring a new car. That's the other thing. You can't ship your car here if you owe money on it. So it has to be completely paid for. Um, when you ship that car, they're going to charge you what they think it's worth, and it's worth very different here. Car prices, Costa Rica makes no automobiles. They have no automobile industry whatsoever. So everything is imported. And Costa Rica import fees on everything are crazy. Example, I was going to order my husband underwear the other day because he likes a certain kind. We can't get it here. We haven't been in the States in more than a year because of COVID. We can't get it here. So I tried to order it. It would have been $12 for a multi pack, which is a reasonable price. The the taxes would run over $40. I told my husband, I said, you could have gold plated underwear for what they were wanting me to spend on shipping fees and all of that. So, guess what? He's wearing his Sunday holy ones until we can get back to the States for him to get his tidy whities. I don't see the big deal. I would use whatever the local underwear is, but apparently he doesn't like that. So, here we are. So, they'll do that to your car too. Our car, we have an old Honda CRV, long since paid for. Great car. It's a mountain goat. I've taken that thing everywhere. Between the other people who've owned it and us, because it came from my daughter's boyfriend's family. It's been up to the northern parts of Canada, all over the U.S., all over the U.S., Mexico, now Central America. So this poor car has just driven every which way, and it is the best thing ever. We have almost 300,000 miles on it, and I don't worry about it. If I have an accident, it's cheap enough. Now this car, when we shipped it, we might be able to get 1,500 to 2,000 for it in the States. Here, it was worth $15,000. So that's another thing to consider here. I know I have grumbled and griped. Hey, hey, Cindy. I've grumbled and griped about a friend of ours who stores his car with us. He went back to Canada over a year ago. I've grumbled and griped about his car. I've called it all kinds of filthy names. I've called it the Gnome Mobile. I've called it Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's a car that's 30 years old. 30 years old, and everything is falling apart, and it smells like mold. I don't like driving it. I don't like riding in it. It doesn't smell like mold now. We've cleaned it a couple times. It is pretty rattle trap. And I don't even know how much you could sell it for. Probably $5,000 or $6,000 here. Is a 30-year-old little Jeep like Daihatsu. I understand the people that come here and buy brand new Range Rovers, because not only are you paying the higher price for the vehicle here, you're paying what the market will bear. You're paying taxes on this. Every year you have to pay taxes on this stuff. Yeah, yeah, 30-year-old car is unbelievable. It is purple, so there's a fun aspect of it, but I don't think it's worth all that money, even with a fun aspect of the car. But just charge so much every year. You have to pay Retive and Marchamo. Retive is the same. When we took our year, people were less because the car was just ridiculous. The other thing is the marketing to pay